Chunking in.
So
Chunking in.
We talked a little bit, Pete, about, subjects. Did you have anything that you really wanted to hit on this week? I mean, because I was kind of going to go differences between introvert, extrovert, how they deal with each other.
No, that's good. That's fine. The only thing that came up for me this week was
quiet on the set.
Crank it up.
I read the news today, a 2-bit expose of the same old story that I heard yesterday. Yeah, 'cause the headlines, man, they all just go to plan. They're framed and fixed and rigged, and they're all just spam. So buckle down, plug right in, cross its way under your skin. Just got out from the things they spout. And
here we go.
Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.
Are we tired of the same old shit?
Oh.
Really?
Good morning. That good news means you've got Triple G.
Oh,
Giles Galt in the grounds right here.
what an intro.
Right
love
here.
It. Morning, everyone.
Of course, Triple G is the only show out there on the interweb or on radio that invites you, the listener, to join and be part of the panel. Grab a cup of coffee.
Got mine.
Smooth on in. Look, we got Don coming in.
Don's on time today.
Just copy and paste that little, URL out there and come on in and be part of the show. We love having everybody in. Of course, strap it on because it's time for Triple G. Giles Galt in the grounds.
Giles Galt in the ground. Wow, we should almost rename it, huh?
Giles Galt in the
grounds. Well,
what we'll do is we'll get some hats or some shirts that say Triple G.
There you go.
Hashtag Triple G.
Hashtag Triple G. The grounds, baby.
There you go.
The grounds. I hope everyone had an awesome week this week. Spring is in the air. I think everyone's kind of get a little spring in their step.
4:37 a.m. tomorrow is spring.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 4:31, which is dear to my heart for the rest of my life.
Well, yeah. That's what time she was born, right?
4:31 a.m. last Monday morning, I became a grandpa for the first time. And let me tell you, holy crap, is that humbling.
Yeah.
Now, thank you. You should be clapping to my daughter and my soon-to-be son-in-law.
Yeah.
Cheers, everyone.
We're celebrating you, man. So.
Ooh, I like that.
That's
I like
awesome.
that. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
We're celebrating you, your granddaughter. And
just celebrating life.
Celebrating life.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now, you said earlier that it really hasn't sunk in quite yet. I mean, it's only been, this is day 5?
Technically day 4. I mean, if you're counting
Thursday.
a full 24-hour period.
Yeah. Okay. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So
but it's been 9 months. So she's only day 4.
9 months of day, but it's 9 months of this new human in the world.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's humbling, but it has not set in as of yet fully. Holding her in my arms, I mean, it's just the tears are coming rolling, and you're going, wow, this is actually a human that, in a long way, shape, or form, I created, even though I didn't. As I say, cook her. I tell my daughter she cooks such a beautiful baby. But it's amazing that another life that started from you and from your wife, and someone else to take care of in this world, which is what I'm all about is taking care of the family. It's 24/7,
Yeah.
and I don't. That's one thing I kind of want to touch on this week is family and taking care of family and the lack thereof from some people and others that are over the top.
Family is always first, no matter what.
Well, you say that though, but there's not a lot of people like that. Some of the stories that I hear in all my travels and dealing with all my customers and people that we go and have good conversations with hey, how you doing today? It's pretty amazing, actually. Some of the stuff out there some of the stories you hear, it really does humble you, actually, realizing that as bad as you might think you've had it, you got it pretty damn good.
True. Very true. Because I've been involved with people talking in groups and such, and talking about their kids and things their kids are going through. And I very thankfully cannot really relate because I did not have the problems that, are being talked about, whether it's, relationship things with kids or kids and drugs, alcohol, that kind of thing. We never experienced that. Our kids just didn't go that path, which I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, exactly.
The abuse path.
Yeah, that didn't even. I mean, I will say all three of my children.
The abuse path.
Yeah, all three of my children are now connoisseurs of the alcohol.
Connoisseurs.
Well, I mean, my oldest son actually he's got a nice little bar and everything. He loves different things. I got all of that out of my system when I was very young. So we rarely even had alcohol in the house of any nature when they were growing up. Every great once in a while, I might have a little, a little wine or a little port or
Cavatier.
Maybe a little whiskey or something. I'm not a beer drinker. Don't care for it.
I don't care. I don't even care for the smell.
Yeah, and to me, it tastes like wet bread, and wet bread is gross.
Steph, good morning. Tim, good morning. Glad to have you guys with us.
Hey, look, it's the Giles and Severson show.
That sounds like
Giles and Stevenson.
you're bad mouthing beer. That's them fighting words when you start bad.
I'm not bad mouthing. I'm just saying I personally don't even care for the smell. It's the excrements of yeast.
The excrements of yeast.
I don't want to say yeast piss, but I guess I can.
Yeast piss, the excrement of yeast. Steph, good morning. And Tim Santos, good morning, Tim. How you doing? And by the way, you guys, you can link in. You're more than welcome if you click that link that's up in the comments there and jump in just like Don. So, Don, what have you been up to the last week? I know you were late last week, but we still love you anyway.
Thanks for being on mute, Don. You've done a great job for radio.
You had a great conversation. Great conversation.
Excellent radio voice there.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I can't even tell you how great the words that I spoke while I was on mute were. That I can't even repeat them. I'm sure it wouldn't be possible. No, just been busy with work, but I got scolded so bad for being late last week. I did not dare show up late again this morning. I will not be around next week, so I want to make sure I joined you guys this morning. So good to see you guys.
Yeah, so it's good to see you. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, for sure. Good morning, Steph. Good morning, Tim. Actually, Tim, I need to talk to you later this afternoon or today. Want to talk to you about the group that we're working with. Businessman group, local businessmen getting together. I was talking to Wayne last night, Jet, and going through. What's that? Bro MC, that's it. Exactly. So trying to make those extra connections and, join with local businessmen to try to help our community even better.
And women.
Oh, I thought it was just a guy thing. Uh-oh, that's trouble for me.
Welcome back to the 60s, folks.
Well,
Welcome back to it's the country club
Well, it says
effect.
bro.
It's the country club. Right, well, it does say bro, not bra. I mean.
Business resources of...
Oh, man, did I get that one? All right, I'm out.
I had that all wrong, too. I actually thought that because I thought, it's Bro MC.
Well, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, I welcome everyone and everyone.
So, oh, well.
Yeah.
See, that's what happens when you start acronyming everything.
Right. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
That's the way it is these days, though. Nobody speaks in full sentences or, words. Bro, bra.
Or you're a couple of old sexist dudes.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone goes a different direction.
You just can't. I mean, God forbid you actually want to have just a conversation with male peers anymore. It just, and everybody has a problem with
That's
that.
why I go out to the woods to do that.
Be with yourself.
So be with yourself. Yeah. But so what? You're saying ladies can't be in the woods?
Not at your week, right?
There are a couple jokes in there. I won't touch that.
But that's, and that's why, you do go to the woods because people aren't chatting about stuff. And that's, we've been kind of hitting on that subject just about every week now.
Yeah.
The people that just don't really talk about really the stuff that matters. And
and I tell you what, I'm rather actually thankful for that, because I've realized that I really don't go. I'm not necessarily, unless I'm very, very comfortable with a person, I don't go very deep.
yeah.
And it's surprising to me, because I always thought that, I'll talk about anything, but really I won't, unless I know you very well. As far as really genuine conversation on how I actually truly feel or
Right.
believe about a subject, unless I'm very comfortable with a person, I won't. I've realized that I don't go there.
Well, it's rightfully so. I mean, why would you really want to go deep with somebody that you don't trust? But even a lot of times, people that you actually do know, you might be afraid to share with them because you don't want to get judged, or, they'll be like, you're crazy. That's not how I feel. When in reality, more people feel the exact same way than you would ever imagine. And I've been finding that out more and more and more with, doing the show, and then, people asking me questions about it and going a little bit deeper with how they feel. And, it's a form of therapy that's not going to, at least in my mind or in my book, it's a form of therapy instead of going to, like a professional therapist. I like to call them life coaches, because you're just trying to toss ideas off of people and tell them, what your thoughts are that week, and kind of validate them, and really kind of understand that you're no different than most people out there. Even though everyone looks different and talks different and does different things, we're all having very similar thoughts and ideas that we might not want to share with people because we feel we're being judged.
I don't fear judgment. I really don't. If someone really wants to know what I think of something and they press, I'll tell them. They may not like the answer, but I don't really care if they do or not.
Well, you're a little bit more rare in that case.
I have learned through our conversations here that naturally I just don't go. And like Don, I'm super comfortable with Don. I'll talk to him about anything. Kent and you. It's rare that I will have. I can think of 1, 2, 3 more people that I would have those kind of conversations with outside of my wife and family.
Right.
That's it.
And that's okay. You've got people that you can do that with, right? I mean, that's what's important, that you do have people that you can do that with and feel comfortable. But there's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable with that.
Shayna.
I was going to say, Pete, you probably have more people. You probably just numbered off more people than most people can. And certainly our culture doesn't exactly inspire us to be open with other people, because it's to say the wrong thing.
You get judged and blackballed, right? I mean,
it's not an encouraging environment to do it in with people you don't know very well. So, I mean, there is a certain level of trust that needs to be developed first. And it is unfortunate that, we all walk around on eggshells in terms of what we say.
Yeah, and that's horrible, because then the real conversations that really kind of need to be had aren't had. And I see Thomas down there says, I love constructive criticism. And if people could actually look at it that way, it's not necessarily tearing somebody up. You're not trying to tear somebody up or anything like that, but you're actually giving some good advice.
Just some quick housekeeping, everybody. If you're joining the show, make sure that you get off of the YouTube or the Facebook. If you join, otherwise we get this echoey loop. I think, Shayna, maybe you've got that loop going on. So if not, some earbuds work well, and that way we can have a good conversation with you without all the echoey stuff going on.
Is that what that was?
I
thought it was just me getting old.
So Shayna, come back in when you're ready, and we'll get that taken care of. Thanks.
I remember fully testing that theory on the first show you guys did. I was Echo Man on show 1.
Yes.
So.
And now you're a pro.
Except for turning on my microphone.
That's right.
Right. So, but you got it down. You're getting there. You're learning.
Right.
We do that. We do that from time to time, not turning it on, but
I can mute you too, so don't worry.
Can I mute you, Kent?
Yeah. You figure that out. Let my wife know.
It was funny. My grandpa used to say what my mom's dad: "Rising tides raise all ships." And I had an uncle who would say, "Yeah, unless you poked a hole in the bottom."
Well, loose lips.
So yeah, it's funny. All these little idioms that are out there that you can throw at life. Some of those things I enjoy, like, in fact, one I absolutely love is when you're having a conversation with somebody and talking with you has really, really, truly made me miss what fun actually is. And,
Fun? What's that?
I had an uncle who used to say that to me every now and then. I actually never really liked that uncle anyway. He's dead now. So
My dad would always say, you're sure not slow, but you're not fast either.
So you're just right.
I am.
Right. If you're not fast and you're not slow, you're right there. You're normal, right?
You're just right.
It's nice that he would say that to you, is your constructive criticism, right? I mean, and that's what I think a lot of people need, but are afraid of, because everybody these days, they're on, like you said, you're on eggshells. I mean, I get in certain instances, and maybe in the corporate environment or whatever, that, you kind of have to be on eggshells because everybody is so crazy and so happy about, or gets offended at, anything and everything for whatever reason. I don't know, but, I think the atmosphere in really the whole world would be better if people weren't just so on eggshells or judgmental or, afraid to have some good constructive criticism. I mean, I get where they're coming from, because I sometimes do get offended when somebody will say something to me and I got to think about it before I react to that constructive criticism, going, all right, wow, that they're right. But it hurts at first going, wow, I didn't realize I was doing that. And so I appreciate it to a lot of extent. I might not seem like that right away, but I also won't lash out like a lot of people these days, and I enjoy that banter back and forth to make me think about things in a different manner, or, you're looking at it from a different perspective instead of, if you have a different thought process than someone these days, it's like, they'll shun you.
Right.
I mean, that's the big thing with, people on Facebook, and the whole headache we're going through right now is you got a different political view or whatever, you're, piece of shit. And, I ain't going to talk to you anymore.
Yeah. And of course, Gary, good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for joining
Gary
us.
from Singapore. What's up, Gary, buddy?
The rising tide raises all ships. I appreciate the falseness of that because it doesn't, because as it's rising here, it's lowering someplace else. So if there's
how that works.
Yeah. So if there's ships in the water on the other side, it's actually lowering.
Right. Well, ups and
level
downs,
of
right?
those.
Ups and
Morning,
downs.
Mary. And Shayna says, don't you think in order to be constructive criticism, there has to be content behind it? Content or intent or constructive intent rather than just critical? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'd say intent, not necessarily content. Right. I mean, an intent to say, hey, I'm trying to help you out or understand how I view it. This is what I see from my standpoint. This is what I see, or this is how I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm hearing, and we'll all put words in Shayna's mouth here, is that what I think, and she can clarify, is that sometimes it's not valid, it's not true, or because a lot of times people will give you feedback that's just off base, right? But it's still their opinion. And one of the things I always tell people, if anybody gives you any constructive criticism at all, any feedback at all, there's only one appropriate response: thank you. And then you get to go decide whether it's any good. If it's no good, you throw it in the trash. If like you said, Scott, sometimes you go, ooh, that kind of hurts, but I think it might be true. That person did you a favor. But if we don't just say thank you as soon as we get it, we forget sometimes. I get to choose whether or not the feedback you give me is useful.
Right.
Well,
if it
true.
is, I'll use it. If it's not, file 13. But at least it's our responsibility when someone cares enough to tell you to decide whether it's useful feedback or not. We get so caught up in, oh, that's wrong, so you're an idiot, rather than, no, you're wrong, but thank you. I appreciate the fact that you cared enough to say something to me.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
you treat people that way, they're not going to come back and give you feedback a second time if you treat them like a jerk the first time they try to give you feedback.
Well, and I think that's key. The method of the delivery, tonality, language used, body language, the way you're conveying whatever it is you're delivering is everything. I mean, you could, because who's that? There's a guy on TikTok um, angry positivity or something like that. He's a big black dude who is always just and he has like a very angry face, but everything he says is super positive, and it's hilarious. And he's got this massive following of millions on TikTok, to the point where people are sending him gifts and doing stuff just because it's such a juxtaposition, sort of a mind flip when you've got this big scary guy going, "You're gorgeous, you're beautiful, I love you."
I haven't seen that, but I don't watch TikTok.
It's wonderful, it's amazing. But when someone comes at you with this attitude of a very negative attitude, an attitude of negativity, anger, or even superiority or piety in what they're trying to give you as far as what they think is constructive criticism, it doesn't work. It's not going to work.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I think, and again, Pete, what you remind me of, I always use the analogy that some people are very willing to give you the gift of feedback, but they just don't know how to wrap packages very well. and I have used that. It's like if someone gives you a crappy package, there still could be a good gift in it. Ignore the package and look for the gift. And once again, if it's still crappy, throw it away.
Oh, there, Deidre. But let's read Shayna's thing.
Morning, Grandma.
And I appreciate some form of solution or idea delivered with a criticism, and then maybe not so much. Deirdre, there you go. Angry reactions. Yes, angry reactions is his username.
I knew she was going to chime in and get that. She's all about
it. She
it.
knows the TikTok.
Oh yeah, her and my daughter are very big into TikTok. But
angry reactions. We love that you're out there listening, and we're giving you all these nice
free plugs.
But go ahead.
He's an amazing
come on in
dude.
with the link and be part of the show. We'd love that. That's what the show's all about.
Well, it's funny though that comes up because I am so guilty with the improper delivery, like with criticism or whatever. I mean the best, and with everything for what I say, really, it has good intentions, but the way it comes out tends to really be more viewed as almost a negative.
So you don't know how to wrap the package, huh, Scott?
Right. I don't. I'm not wrapping the package that well. And I get that. I try to preface my conversation or my comments with kind of, this is what I mean, but how it comes out, and with my wife more times than not, even my kids, it comes out not how I really want it to come across. It's good. I feel it's good constructive criticism, but the way I say it can be taken as a negative. So, and that drives me nuts because I can see it in their eyes that it's not coming across the way I want to, or the way it's meant to come across.
And that's why I don't dabble in sarcasm with Mary Catherine and Luke, because I am not good at delivery. They say that it feels too harsh and too real.
What are you upset about, Dad?
Sarcasm. Because they love sarcasm. They love to play with sarcasm. But if I start to dish it back what they're dishing out, things go awry very quickly and feelings get hurt. And I'm like, I'm just doing what you're doing. I'm like, no, you're serious. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just...
Welcome to the club, Pete. Welcome to the club.
I'm trying to play along with
grumpy
you.
Old men.
Yeah. So,
hey, go screw yourself. I'm a grandpa now. I am not grumpy.
Conversely, with Lex and Cody, I think maybe because our personalities are very much alike, we can wordplay all the time, and Lex and Cody don't get they don't get unhappy or upset at all, and we have a lot of fun. Mary Catherine and Luke, I can't do that with. Cody can read them better than I can. And going back to your thing about family, and you were talking about introverts and extroverts.
Yeah,
is that
plays a huge role in who you're dealing with? I feel, on how things are taken and reactions, and I mean, there's such a big difference in how an extrovert and an introvert function. That I mean, I've read a book on introverts because my wife is an introvert. God bless her. Love her to death. Yeah, but
she read it too, but didn't tell you about it.
No, she's actually the one that gave it. She's the one that actually kind of said you need.
You didn't get it, Pete.
Yeah. But it's one of those things. It's actually we are so different in how just basic things in life affect you.
And Shayna says there is some responsibility on the part of the recipient as well, regardless of the way it's packaged to a degree. I think it's called civility too. Oh yeah, you're right.
That's why I think it's just thank you. Just say thanks. Thank you.
You know, yeah, because I've had to learn how to gauge my reaction to things much before I met any of you gentlemen and people here. I was a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction kind of guy many years ago.
A redhead, a knee-jerk reaction.
Well, Pete, it's natural to just knee-jerk react when somebody tells us something that is criticism, and it's human nature to immediately want to explain or defend. But that's not the time to do that because you haven't even considered it. You don't have, if somebody tells you something that maybe doesn't sound, very nice, or they're telling you something that, they're suggesting you change, our immediate human reaction is either embarrassment, anger, confusion, defensiveness. So that's why I always tell, just say thanks and think about it later, because it's just not the right time to evaluate the feedback right when they give it to you, because your natural reaction probably not going to be positive.
Yeah, and I didn't learn that until I was in my early 40s.
I'm just figuring it out now.
So,
and I don't even think I figured it out either. It's just my reactions usually is almost an offense.
The reaction at the Jones house is, could you be serious just for a half a minute?
There's some feedback, Kent, huh?
Yeah. Well, Kent diffuses everything with comedy because he loathes confrontation. And I get that. I understand that. Thomas says there is many ways to skin a cat. And because Thomas loves his analogies here, I have found, and I'm giving you a hard time, Thomas. I love you. You're an awesome dude, and I'm so glad you're here. I have found more useful to use permissional leadership, where I ask first, would you like my advice before I issue any advice to someone? Sometimes it's actually better not to try to help and give advice and just sit there and listen to their issues, while at the same time not letting that sad news make you feel down.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Anna had a reaction.
I'm the same,
and that's Shayna says horrendous expression.
Yeah.
Which one? Which one?
That's a problem.
Facial expression or a word expression? What's she talking about?
It's the skin a cat.
And how did that come about, do you suppose? Who was skinning cats that became a common...
You're asking the wrong guy on that one.
Who was skinning cats? Why did that become such a common thing? What was more than one way to skin a cat?
I will Google that, guys.
Our producer, the lovely Kent over there, is hitting it up. But
all right.
Thomas, did you have to put my glasses on because
I have no idea what that is? Looks like a notebook.
Looks like a notebook, maybe, or something. It's a tiny little emoji-looking thing.
It's a smiley face emoji with red things on it, or something.
Is it? Okay.
I like what Thomas said, though, and I'll agree with that one 100%. And I am so bad with that. When somebody's saying something to me, or is trying to help, instead of just listening, like, oh, well, this is what I did, or, this is what I suggest, instead of just listening to them, letting them get their issue out. I'm always trying to solve it to make their life better, so to speak. At least that's how I feel a lot of times. I don't think it's doing that.
Well, see, I think that might be a natural thing for a lot of people, because as someone's giving or sharing a problem or an issue, your brain goes, it's Egyptians. It's all about the Egyptians, says Thomas. I don't know. Is that the emoji? It's an Egyptian emoji, maybe?
Oh, hearts around it.
Oh, it's a face emoji with hearts around it. Okay, there you go.
He's just showing love.
Just showing love to the Egyptians?
Apparently.
I'm going to get stuck on the Egyptians now.
Yeah,
it's just a word that's hanging out there.
Kind of a random word that you showed.
We to how to skin a cat, or there's more than one way to skin a cat.
That came from
it's the oldest known use of the phrase dates back to 1854 in the work Way Down East, or Portraits of Yankee Life by Seba Smith. However, there's more than one way to skin a cat, has its roots in older similar phrases such as there are more ways to kill a cat than choking it with cream, found in the 1830s. So There you go. Of course. And, I've got to be remiss. I got all excited about the Triple G right up at the front of the show, which I did not give a shout out to our good friends over at Cannabis CBD Shop. They offer quality, affordable, convenient products. Their mission is to provide an alternative, natural way of healing without using industrialized pharmaceuticals. They offer a broad array of hemp products to address a wide variety of ailments. The team over there will guide you through many options to make sure that you are comfortable with your purchase. Visit them at 818 Front Street here in McHenry, straight across from the library. Check them out at www.cannabiscbdshop.com or call and talk with one of the agents over there at 815-687-2608. Of course, the grounds brought to you through the financial support of the Cannabis CBD Shop here in McHenry. Thanks, guys.
Yes, thank you.
And we love them. We love you for that. So, and Deidre, some tend to listen to respond rather than listen.
Oh, now she's
to
picking
learn.
on me. Now she's picking.
No, but I had
that's
to
the
learn
truth. That is me. That is me. She's got me.
Because I used to, especially with Mary Catherine and the kids, if they're coming to me with a problem or an issue or they're upset about something, I instantly go into Dad's got to fix it mode. And I had to learn that sometimes you listen just to listen, understand, and appreciate that they're unhappy about something. And there may be absolutely no desire for Dad to fix it or, Mary as her husband to fix it. She just needs to vent to the point where, and I do not believe, I think I can share this, because I will do it vaguely and just tell the situation. She texted me yesterday to show me some of the things she was dealing with during her work day that were wonderful, wonderful examples of people not paying attention and poor communication when instruction and information was presented wonderfully clearly. So we exchanged a few emojis and a few GIFs about how not intelligent some people can be at times.
Yeah.
I didn't point fingers.
She's not pointing. No, you can point fingers, and that's
the
okay.
One thing too that my
that's
grandpa
okay to point
always,
fingers.
anytime you're pointing a finger, there's three pointing right back at you.
Right. Well, and that's, I mean, it's true. It is true. But like with Deidre, I mean, I am really guilty with that. When she's telling me an issue, even my kids, I'm trying to, as a father or as a husband, I'm trying to solve that problem and not wanting them to, be in that pain instead of just listening. So I'm listening to answer, not listening to learn. Yeah. And it's a big fault for me because when I do sit back and listen to learn, I absorb that and I can see it from a completely different perspective.
Right.
Whereas coming from, my, gilded perspective, I guess, I look at the world, I think a lot differently than a lot of people, hence the reason I do what I do. I need to be taken with a grain of salt, really. The people that really know me, I think really understand that if I say something,
but you're salty in a good way.
Yeah, but thank you. But I mean,
seasoned.
I'm seasoned. Yeah, right.
He has nice seasoning. We had a comment up there from Shayna. I've asked the people that deal with me on a regular basis to identify whether they want a solution or a shoulder. That's okay. That's good. I am why solution oriented, which can come up as someone lacking empathy.
That's me.
Why?
Why?
Why is this? You're trying to get back, peel that onion, so to speak, as Lisa Eflin would put it. She's, how far do you have to peel that onion to get down to that wet, gooey part that no one likes?
Right. And that's totally right there with it is whether you want a solution or a shoulder.
I haven't asked her what kind of onions she's eaten, but I've never gotten down to a gooey part of an onion myself, but then I don't slice a lot of onions, so
make me cry.
So yeah, some of them can. Yeah. So,
but that's a good one actually. I actually should really put that back in the back of my head every time I have a conversation. And I mean, do you really ask someone straight out, hey, are you looking for, a solution or a shoulder? I mean, because I just assume all the time that you're looking for a solution. When you tell me a problem or an issue, and because I'm always looking for the solution, not necessarily a shoulder. I'm always looking for that solution because this is what I've run into. This is how I deal with it. Tell me how you dealt with it so I can look at it from a different perspective.
I'm right there with you. I very often go right to, okay, what needs to happen because, the cause and effect. What do I need to do? Kent, you're trying to say
how do we fix this?
No, I was just going to say the issue with constructive criticism is that when I give it, I'm looking for a pat on the back because I want you, it worked. You're the best. Thanks for that constructive. You made such a big difference. So a lot of times people give that constructive criticism for themselves. I want a pat on the back. Look how good I am. Right. But as a dad, now as a grandfather, congratulations.
Thank you.
As a parent, you really, the best is when your kids are adults or grown ass adults and they come back to you and go, it made a lot of sense. You may not remember this, but there was, and that's when you made a difference in somebody's life with some good constructive criticism. When they come back years later, your kids, or you see yourself in your kid, you're like,
I'm hoping that comes back to me.
Yeah,
because I know. Well, my wife is included, but like with my kids, I feel like I'm always solution based on that one, basically, or at least that's how I'm looking at it, not being condescending. And hopefully that they'll understand. I mean, I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm trying to share that with them so they don't have to go through that, or at least as bad, so they know that, hey, it's something everyone else goes through.
I think that's something that every parent wants to do to at least some degree. Thomas says, I sometimes give myself a good 5 to 10 seconds before giving someone an answer. It shows I'm taking thoughtfulness in my response. A quick response sometimes can indicate you just listen to react, not listen to learn. And depending on the situation, if I say, hey, Tom, do you want vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream? And you take a good 10 seconds or so to respond, I think this dude has no clue what friggin' ice cream is. But
or when you're at the drive-thru at McDonald's. Come on, people. The menu hasn't changed.
I know what you're saying. I'm Tom. I'm picking on you this morning, and I shouldn't be.
Deidre
I actually
said the same
really
thing.
enjoy your stuff.
Deidre said the same thing as Tom, too. She just says, I also wait a few seconds before responding, as I know that once the words leave my mouth, I can't take it back. It's prevented me from saying hurtful things, but sometimes can appear that I'm too serious. Well, we all need to have a good mix of both. A little bit of quickness and a little bit of thought. And, she is good at that. I'm not.
Problem is, if you wait 5 to 10 seconds, you've missed all comedic rhythm.
If I wait 5 to 10 seconds,
you gotta hit them
the
quick.
Conversation.
That's a zinger.
If I wait 5 to 10 seconds, I forget the conversation, or I forget,
then I gotta go,
or I forget my point.
Could you say that?
That's more than a pregnant pause, isn't it? That's more than a pregnant pause.
Hey, whoa! I ain't pregnant no more.
Good morning, Lisa. Lisa, we were talking about you just a bit ago. So, and Shayna says 10 seconds shows incredible discipline. Well, I truly enjoy this. I enjoy uncomfortable silence. I love it so much.
What?
It's good for radio, yeah.
He enjoys uncomfortable silence.
It is so entertaining to me. And I've learned this through years and years in HR, conducting interviews. Ask the question.
Crickets.
And I will sit there until they say something.
People just start throwing up on you.
Yeah.
Or did you mean
Yeah, and
attorneys use it all the time.
Yeah, and I have actually been in situations where attorneys are using that, and I'll just enjoy it with them. And sometimes they'll break it because they can't stand it. People don't like
uncomfortable silence. Yeah. That's a tough one.
It makes for terrible radio. It really doesn't work.
Yeah,
well.
yeah, that doesn't work on radio. Hello, is the mic on? Is this thing on? Hello.
And Lisa, true, Kent. Tom says, true, Kent. And Lisa says, was it bad talk? No. Tom says, please pick on me. That maybe says a little too much about you right there, Tom. A little masochistic behaviors. But Tom, I don't know what it is about you this morning, but you're throwing me all kinds of stuff, and it's wonderful. Lisa says, and yes, Shayna, there is a difference between constructive criticism and projecting your bullshit onto someone else. Oh, indeed. Oh, absolutely, indeed. And that's out of the advanced sales training book, Shana.
The advanced version, huh?
And then Deidre, whoever speaks first loses.
I don't
think
agree
it's
with
a
that.
loss.
I don't agree with that one. Sorry, but
I just because if people
Until you get home.
Yeah, my wife is my
maybe
wife,
I do agree with it.
my wife is the wizard at silence for days if necessary.
see,
It
I
makes
can
you really
do that.
rethink what you said that night, don't you?
And believe it or
Or,
not,
or reviews it as peace and quiet, right, Kent? Yeah.
That's right.
well, and see, there's the thing. Don't tell her you're enjoying. the peace and
Deidre, I
quiet.
want you to expand upon why you think whoever speaks first loses.
Yeah,
But that's in a sales
It's
game, right?
it's a
After
sales game, but-
you've made an offer, so to speak, or you're trying to close. Yeah, that's it. Hey, this is my deal. This is what it is. And I mean, I know that from all the years of me, buying and selling at classic cars and stuff. It's make an offer, don't say anything,
Listen,
and sit
Pete-
back. But in real life, I mean, how do you lose if it's something that's important?
Right.
That you really need to get out there, especially for me. I mean, like I said, 5-10 seconds, I forget.
Pete loves to live in the shallow end with people, don't like to go deep with people. And all of a sudden, Lisa, she just dives right into the deep end.
Oh yeah, she
She
cannonballs.
is right there. Oftentimes,
cannonballs,
if
like,
no one speaks,
boom.
everyone loses.
Yeah.
I just see her sitting Indian style, Native American style, smoking a peace pipe right now.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, she probably has a bit of the peyote, but
A little bit of the peyote.
yeah,
It's good stuff.
But it's I enjoy what I enjoy about uncomfortable silence. Really, is the body language, the look on faces, and internally, I am just rolling. I'm laughing. I'm having a good time. But also, it's with interviews, the interviewing process. It's incredibly constructive. It's incredibly useful because you will learn so much about people when you shut up.
Maybe that's why I don't know a lot about people. I don't shut up. I just keep going.
and I do. I can like Kent's wife. I can go completely silent. And the thing is if I'm truly angry or mad about something, I found it's best for me to just not talk, because talking when I'm in those kind of emotions and in that place has never served me well. Lisa says, I think silent treatments are dehumanizing. Since it's not a silent treatment, it's, to me, if I'm truly angry, I am not going to talk because I know what I'm going to say is going to be remarkably damaging and very, very hurtful. And if it's with a person I truly value, I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. So it is best I just keep my mouth shut.
But that means you're not giving the silent treatment. You're being smart enough to think about it a little while before you say something.
Right, but how that comes off to the other person might be, considered the silent treatment,
Well, yeah, if it's 3 days, I would agree. Yeah.
Right.
Well, sometimes it has to be 3-4 days because it takes a while to get past the thing that you're angry about. Deidre says it's not just in sales. It can be in other decisions as well. Agree with Pete too. It's great for interviews, hiring. Yeah. And Lisa says, yes, Pete, that's different. I mean the days and weeks thing.
Yeah.
But I can go days and weeks. I've gone with some people, I have just stopped, like I've said before. And even family. There have been family members I have cut off for years. They call, hang up. They, whatever. It doesn't, I'm not talking. I'm done.
Pete. What are we going to do with you?
But it's, I don't like to go there. But anyway.
Well, for me, you said that it actually resonates kind of really strongly with me as far as years. There's nothing for me. There's nothing in this world that's worth not talking to your family for years. I think. Well, my in-laws were in town this week for the birth of my grandbaby and their great grandbaby. Granny, if you're out there listening, hi. There's a lot of conversations that people actually do need to have that would stop that for years thing and be like, hey, maybe I fucked up or I said some things that, came across wrong, or maybe you took them wrong and that's not the way it wants, it's not the way I meant it to come across. let's air this out.
Yeah.
And if at the end of airing it out, so to speak, or going deeper into it, they still feel that way, then at least you know that you tried. I mean, there's a lot of times things you want to say to people and you can't get it out, or you're afraid to say it because you might lose out on them, but you end up losing out on them and their life and their input because you don't say things.
You don't say things. And Lisa says, right, I have learned to just say, I don't feel like I can respond in a way I will be proud of. I need some time. That's actually very good. Probably something I should use. Tom says, I just have to make one edit. It's not whoever speaks first loses. It's whoever answers the question first loses. That's interesting. But again, I don't know if it's a loss. Is it really a loss if it's a question you want to answer?
But yeah, what makes it a loss? I mean,
and then Deidre says silent treatment, not looking at the person, body language, etc. One checks out. Okay, not speaking first. One is still invested in the conversation. They haven't checked out. Body language, yes. That's when you just act like this person who is in the room does not exist. And I've done that too. Did you hear something? That's weird. I thought I heard something. No, door didn't open. I'm sure it didn't. Must be a ghost. And then Tom says, people are in your life for a reason, and for some for just a season. And again, another wonderful.
Looks like somebody got the quote of the month email to open up.
Yeah, right. It's just wonderful. And some for just a season. Everything turn. Isn't there a song about that?
Yeah.
For every season, turn.
All right, my musical career did not take off. You can tell, but so
Pete, that's like your inner toddler making a point, and perhaps, I vaguely remember my toddler self, and it was a bit of a dink.
Yeah. It happens, but
so
I don't know.
Kind of look like Danny Partridge.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not wrong.
For me though, I mean, the big thing is not having those, really not having those conversations, or not going silent, dead silence with people you love, because if they don't know really how you feel, there could be such a simple misunderstanding that you get it aired out and life changes for you. Instead of just letting it fester and not say something. I mean, I want to pull it out. I want to dig it out instead of sitting there and just not talking about it. Let it go for days, weeks, years.
I try to invite as many people into my world as I possibly can.
I don't try to invite try to invite as many people into my world as I can.
And then you run to the woods, Deke, to hide from them.
Yeah, I mean, if you come in and you see all the little leprechauns and happy little footsie fairies running around in my world, you might go,
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Pixie fairies.
Right.
How do they taste?
Well, and that's a difference. But that's a difference between an introvert and an extrovert, right there. So you're very much of an extrovert, just like me, right? Yeah. I mean, I want for me, the more people in my life, the better, because then I have a much better chance of also finding good quality people, right? Yeah. If you're not shooting, you're not going to score, and if you're not talking and meeting people, you're not going to find the few that end up being those really cherished relationships. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of screwed up people out there. There's a lot of people you don't want to be friends with. There's a lot of people you don't want in your life, but there's also a lot of people you do want in your life. I feel that, as an extrovert, I thrive on the energy of being with people and interacting and sharing my thoughts. Yeah. Introverts are exact opposite.
That's one thing I loved about Friday Mornings with Pete, where often when that table was full and massive and so many conversations were going on, that after a while I could just sit back and you just hear the din of it all. And the energy that was coming in was just so wonderful. It really was. It felt so good.
It was cool, but that was taxing for me.
Yeah, but Tim Stewart, I resemble that remark. Tim Stewart resembles a lot of things. And yeah, and that's awesome. As Lisa says, Pete, that's like we read that one. Then she says, I have found the number of people able to be vulnerable and set ego aside has grown smaller and smaller. And again, for me,
oh my God,
a lot of this I've been learning since my early 40s. And again, I have not cut someone off for years. That was back in my 30s. And, again, that goes back to that whole perceived loyalty thing. For me, is just it has been just such an issue in my life. And if you prove yourself disloyal, I would be done.
Yeah.
And I really would. Now, probably, again, as we talked about a few shows ago, and having reflected on these conversations, probably not so much anymore. I would probably weigh the situation. And I do tend now very much to, if something's making me unhappy or uncomfortable, I'm going to let you know, like now. That's just the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
So,
And you should. I mean, you should, realistically. I mean, you got to give that person the proper input, right? Hey, that pissed me off, right? Let them either be like, well, too fucking bad, or, you know what, I'm sorry, that's not really the way I meant it. And I'm the second. I'm sorry, that's not the way I meant it. So if you don't respond to me, I feel like what I said was probably okay, even though my delivery might have sucked, right? I mean, and I do that constantly with my wife, and with a lot of people. And some people will never come back to me and respond to me. Other people will,
and
will challenge me.
And Lisa says, like we said, man.
Need your glasses, Pete. You're killing me here, guy.
And I'm sitting
I'm the grandpa. You're not.
Like we said on the show, there's a difference between being an asshole and having an asshole moment. And she said on her show, Lisa's Changing Perceptions, 9 a.m. Sundays right here on 216 The Net. But there is a difference between being an ass.
Another great show that opens up to the general public.
Yeah, being an ass.
Does that come through Fantasy Factory or through Cannibalism?
Actually,
Pete, I think that's a great point that Lisa's making there. And what's happening is, if people just have a moment now, they get treated as if that's who they are and how they are. If somebody makes a mistake today, it isn't a bad moment. It's like, no, you're a bad person.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Raising your hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing. That's why I just had a lady actually.
Okay, we don't. Something's happening off camera here.
No, he acknowledged that Kent's raising his hand and wants to say something, and just kept talking, and that was wonderful.
He's the producer.
It was great.
I can't let him go.
It's your show.
It's my show. Damn you! It's that 5 to 10 seconds that I'm going to forget my comment. Right? I mean, and that's the grandpa brain.
Kent, you better jump in here while
go ahead. What I was going to say is to Don is we are no longer individuals.
Yeah,
everybody's grouped together.
That is so true.
So that's where that ego thing and the asshole thing comes in, because all of a sudden every grandpa is a lovely, gentle being, and every redhead is a soulless bastard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
it's stereotype and it's generalizing. It's grouping people in, and that's,
in this world we've lost all individuality.
And Tom up here, and by the way, we've got, it looks like a few comments in the private chat section. I don't know if we want to read and share those, but Don's having.
I don't know how to get them in the general comment section, so that's my user issue. So don't worry about it.
That's
well,
right.
the start would be by not posting them in the private one.
Yeah.
Well, I can't post in the public one.
Oh, you can't be public?
No,
well, you're talking anyway. You're public anyhow.
I don't need to, but I was sharing a couple of.
Tom has Thomas says, my mom said back in her day, interacting with folks had this mentality, innocent before guilty. That's what we're supposed to think anyway, at least legally. But now when when a stranger approaches you, we immediately think the stranger is out to get them. Well, stranger danger. That's what we're taught from a little kid. Stranger danger. Would you guys think that rings true? Yeah, because of what we're taught from being little kids, where we make people guilty of wanting to scam us. Or should we assume innocence? Or do we live in a world where we'll never be presumed innocent before guilty? I mean, again, from a little kid, you're taught, stranger danger, stranger danger. And because, hey, kids started getting napped. Well, not taking naps, but,
right.
Taking.
See, for me, it's totally different. I trust you implicitly, right? Until you screw yourself. I give you enough rope to hang yourself. And, because if you go into conversation, an interaction with people that I know. I saw that too.
But finally video proof of what I deal. Poor Deidre.
Wait, what do you mean, poor Deidre? You guys have no idea what really happens.
But it was just.
I am leaving now. Thank you,
funny.
216 the net. I am leaving. Have a great day.
I love things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was so comedically timed and so perfect that it just. I love that.
And that's the truth.
Yeah,
it is the truth. But that's the difference that we have though between introvert extrovert. And honey, I love you. So I know you're listening, and I know you know that, but that's where I say right.
You.
But she and I get what she's saying, but at the same token, I need I need to get it out there. I need to say how it is because I'm going to forget and try to really drive home. I want to drive home my reasoning, if you will. Or at least my thought process. It's not meant to be negative, mean, or demeaning in any way, shape, or but it comes but it comes across to her because we are so on the opposite ends of the spectrum, right? She's introverted and she'll think about things for quite a while.
Boys have penises, girls have vaginas.
Yeah, that's men are from Mars and women
they
are from Venus,
on
right?
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, I saw it on Kindergarten.
I saw it on a movie once.
And that's how we take things and how we perceive things.
And there's obviously a part of you that feels you truly, sincerely need to be heard and understood. So somewhere inside of you, perhaps at some point in your life, you felt you were not. Majority of my childhood, I feel like I was not. When you say that, that's what I hear and what internally I take away from what you just said. Is at some point in your life, you truly feel like you were not heard or listened to. And now you have that sincere, true need to be sure you're understood and listened to. And you just said for the majority of your childhood.
Well, actually, the majority of my life, really. And I have a really bad habit when I'm done saying something, I'd be like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Which is a total redundancy, right? I mean, but I do it all the time because I want to make sure that they know what I'm saying or understand where I'm coming from. And then it's not meant to be negative. It's not meant to be demeaning or hurting, even though it probably comes up that way. Oh, are we that close to the end of the show?
Yeah, we got about 3.5 minutes left here. And Lisa up there says that is a choice in what we choose to see in the world. It's part of the belief that your world becomes when you choose to see the same number of good and scum are out there. It's who you focus and look for.
I agree.
Lisa and Shayna shared an exchange to share, whatever. And then Lisa says, Scott, I know a lady. Oh, Scott, I know a lady who can help you with that, lols. Because that's what Lisa does.
Right.
She's done amazing things for my wife, Mary.
Well, we've been talking about that, and Lisa, I'll call you later this afternoon because I do want to get a little bit deeper into that.
So, and as you guys want to dig deep and deeply dig, you're more than welcome to do that right here on the grounds every Friday at 7:30 a.m. with Scott Giles and yours truly, Uncle Pete, and producer Kent and Don Severson. It's wonderful that you jumped in here, Don. I'm really grateful and thankful. Everybody else that jumps in here that comments. Again, you're more than welcome to click that link and jump in like Don did. And I know Shayna tried that early on, and perhaps... Scott, that sounded dirty. What? What did he say that sounded dirty?
But there's a lady out there who can help him with that, I think is what she said.
And
she said she knows a lady who can help, but it was contextual.
Right. See,
there's my mom.
Yeah, there's mom.
Great show, you fabulous men.
See, Lisa, do you really know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? That's not what I meant. You guys are going the wrong direction on that one. See? You guys get it? I mean, I just said that, and that's probably exactly how I think it comes across to my wife. It
takes a certain kind of mind because Mary Catherine does that. Kent does that. I don't have a brain that flips dirty, and it's probably because I spent 30 years in HR, and I'm just learning
Lisa.
those kind of things. Lisa said, I will call you later. I want to get deeper into that.
Jesus.
I will call you later.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Enough said.
Context.
Have a wonderful Friday.
Context. Next week on the ground, context
and sexual harassment.
How would you
Sexual
like your
harassment
eggs?
training.
Oh man, do I need that?
You
I'll tell
actually
you-
are supposed to do that as a business owner in the state of Illinois every year, fire before December 31st for all employees, including owners. That's
so
a
how do
law right
how?
now.
So let me ask
I
you
agree,
that.
Shayna.
How do,
It's much
how do-
worse than print.
Let me ask you that. How do I give sexual harassment training for the Fantasy Factory when it's adult novelties?
No, but that's
and
bona fide. That is bona fide.
bona fide.
The two separate words, bona fide criteria, work environment criteria. So that's what you sell, that's what you purvey. I can give you all kinds of HR crap on that.
Everybody have a
We've had a
wonderful
wonderful
week.
day.
Thanks for checking in.
That music means we're at
Have
the
a
end
great
of
week.
the rounds. Stick around. Come back in a half hour for Bridging Civil Tension with Bill Wallace and Ken Jones. Program announcement is there will be a best of Ask a Bookkeeper this afternoon. She'll be back in about 3 weeks with her typical show. Saturday morning, Metaphysical Meanderings. She's going to be live on at a place doing readings, so it's going to be really cool. And then, of course, Sunday mornings, come on back for Changing Perceptions with Lisa. Thank you to everybody who jumped on. Thank you, Don, for copying that link, being part of this show. That's what it's all about. And appreciate everybody out there. Thanks for getting caught in the net. Go out, like us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and spread the word. We're the best out there.
Yeah, we are the best out there. Thanks, everybody. Make it a great week. Or weekend, I guess. It's already the end of the week.